Today we're gonna build our own Copilot agent. This is gonna be a PPM agent. And I'm gonna show the steps it takes to set up the data for it. So first of all, we of course give it a name here, a description, and I can pass some instructions to our agent to answer any question related to PPM. And I'm also instructing it to use our knowledge sources and questions and so on. And you can see here that I cannot associate the data with it just yet. I need to create it first. So now my agent is created. And the first thing I'm going to do is of course go in and add a knowledge source. And we're going to start out here by simply just uploading the PMI handbook. This could of course be your own company instructions on how to run projects or specific instructions that you want the agent to know. Now that this is uploaded, it's quite easy to ask it a question here on how to do the best plan for my project. And then it's going to use, of course, its general knowledge and the documents that are uploaded and give a nice description of it here. And if you have your company information, you will of course leverage that company information to tell the project manager what process to follow. Great. The next thing we're going to do is add another knowledge source where we're going to link it in to our projects. And this is quite nice because I can search out our project, which is called initiatives in this case. And I can of course rename it to projects and say in here that it's the knowledge source answer questions found related to our projects. And I can even go in and put synonyms in for specific columns if I know they're not named the right thing in the database that the user would refer to. Like that, we just started the creation here, and now our knowledge source projects is connected. So I can go ahead and start asking questions around the specific projects that we have in our organization. So I would say just show me the top projects in our org. And then you can see here that it goes in, fetches our knowledge sources. And in just a second we will see that it specified out that it probably found something in Dataverse and it found something in files, and then it leveraged that information to specify that we got accelerated growth, we got administrative tasks as the top projects in our organization. Now I didn't specify on what metric, but you could of course write that into the instructions as well. Next, let's go in and create a topic. But before we do that, we want to change the conversation module to be generative instead of the classic one where you have to specify specific when to call a topic. I'll show in a minute what this means. So if I go in here and add a new topic, then we can see in the trigger here, it's triggered by agent. This is the generative trigger that is currently in preview, but probably be in a general availability very soon. And the difference is that instead of saying specific what phrase the user have to use, I can just describe when this topic should be activated. So I'll just describe here that it should allow the user to create a project, and I could of course also say when it should not be activated. So let's go ahead and add a question here. So obviously we want to know what's the name of the project. We might also want to know what is the description of the project. Do you need a risk associated with the projects and so on? But we're just going to start out by asking about the name for this example. And then we just want to change the variable name here to be project name so we can remember what it is we are saving when the user replies. Then if I just save that, and of course I also need to save the topic. So I'm just gonna call that create project. And then the next thing we want to do is add an action here to run a flow in Power Automate, because we wanted to actually create a project. This is gonna navigate us over to Power Automate. And here we can fairly easily set up a new flow. So we can see we got the run from Copilot. Let's add a new step. Just create a new row in Dataverse. And then I want to find the table initiatives. And of course provide the name here. Now of course if I provided any other information, then of course I should also put that in here. It could be that we also ask the user for the description and update the description. We could of course also add them for many things else. And then of course need to remember that this flow needs the project name as an input. I'm going to show you back in the topic how we will pass that in just a minute. And then we give in the project name. Everything looks good. We could also give it an output if we want to tell you how it went. Now we're just creating a project that there's not so many things that can happen to that. And you see here I named it run a flow by Copilot. Obviously we want to call this create a new project, maybe create a new project by Copilot, and publish that. Now there's a little challenge here, that is when you create a new flow, that's something that is quite annoying here. That is that the name you see in Copilot will always be the first thing that you run a flow from Copilot. That will update eventually. I don't know when it does, but it takes a lot of time for it to update. But anyway, let's choose that. And then of course we need to provide the project name that the user inputted before. And the last thing we want to do is send a message here back and say, great, project is created. You can go on with your day. We could also, paste back the URL for the project and provide that to the user. Say, please go here and fetch the project. But let's just keep it like this for the example here and publish it. There's a risk here. That's obviously that this is running under my credentials. I think that's all right for this, but you of course might want to run it under a service account or an app service. Great, the publishing is going to take a little while, so we can go ahead and close this. And then try and test it out here. I just need to refresh. Let's create a new project. Then we would expect it to trigger the topic. We can see it's starting a new activity map here. And it's saying, yeah, we want to create a project. It got that. And then of course it asks, what is the name of this project? Great, the project is created and ready for you. That didn't actually take too long. And then of course I can go into my PPM environment here and see if I can find the project that it just created. And what did I name it? And that is. So now we can create projects, we can look up project information from the tool, and we can look up general information from our knowledge source. Of course there's also actions. I might dive into that at another time, and activity. And then there is the analytics area here, where we can see who has used it, how effective is our Copilot, and of course is there anything that was escalated, or did a process get abandoned that we might want to look into. This is of course much more useful when we get some actual real life data in here. Thank you. That was everything. See you in the next one.